Hello everyone, greetings to all. I am Farhana Yasmin Rehman and I'm pursuing my PhD from Tripura University under the supervision of Dr. Syed Arshad Hussain. And today the topic I have chosen is the emerging memory device and the neuromorphic computing. So today I will try to convince you that we need a specialized hardware, and as everybody playing with the top of the self computers like CPU, GPU in order to perform to get a certain performance and the functions. So I will try to convince you that we need a certain change of paradigm and introduce a new device or new architectures in order to scale down and scale up the functions and the powerness of the artificial intelligence. So these are the objectives of my presentation or talk. So firstly I will make the introduction addressing the present day memory device, and then I will make an introduction about the brain inspired memory device architecture and the neuromorphic computing and the several learning rule to mimic human brain functions, and then the future memory device which is based on RM technology. So initially we are having a big memory device, right, in order to store the informations about 1 megabyte, and however today 1 terabyte informations are also be able to store in a very small space, and the entire credit which goes to the advancement of nanotechnology. And this technology is moving forward in the direction of artificial intelligence and the information processing, which requires a hardware, and the specification of this hardware would be like it should operate at a low power, then it must store huge data and process high speed, and it should have the high efficiency. So my question is that why neuromorphic computing is so important for future memory devices? Because if we see the current memory hardware system which has been constructed based on the CMOS technology, that gives the certain limitations like minimum dimensions that has already been reached, and secondly diminishing switching behavior. So as a result of this, we are facing so many issues, and we need to develop computer methodology that should change from compute centric to data centric processing paradigm because of its inhuman computing, massive parallelism, error tolerant computing, and low energy information. So neuromorphic computing can be an alternative of our von Neumann architecture in shortcut, or traditional architecture. And if we compare human brain with the computers, then we could see that human brain is much more advantageous than that of the computers. So now here we could see how human brain can store data and process information. As you know that human brain is having 10 power 11 neurons in the central nervous system, which are connected by synapses that you can that you can see here, and these synapses play a major role in the learning, memory, and the self adaptability of the human brain. So what do you mean by a biological synapses? It is consist of presynaptic neuron, then postsynaptic neuron, and the synaptic cleft. What are the criteria for artificial synapses? That is, the synapses should have a memory. Here the conductance has to be stored, and then the plasticity, and then the weights should be adjustable. And in order to make the artificial synapses, there are several learning rules for neural system. That is, first one is the synaptic weight. The synaptic weight, and it is the connection between pre and the postsynaptic neuron, and here W is the amount of neurotransmitter released to synapses through neuron, and in device W means conductance for LTP, that is long term potentiation, when W increases with respect to the time, and when W decreases with respect to the time, that condition is known as the LTD, that is long term depression. And secondly the synaptic plasticity, and thirdly and the most important STDP, that is spike time dependent plasticity. And here the spike time dependent plasticity refers to the conductance modulation depending on the relative timing of presynaptic spike and the postsynaptic spike. So now how to implement artificial synapses into device? For that we need a memory star, and that memory star, it should directly implement the synaptic plasticity. That is one memory star directly implements STDP, that is spike time dependent plasticity, and here we are using basically RRAM out of several devices like FRAM, MRAM, PCRAM, etc. Why RRAM, non-volatile RRAM, is so crucial for neuromorphic application? Because of its minimum cell size, less program time, high endurance, high retention, and low power consumption, and adjustable conductance. And here people have reported a number of neuromorphic applications which is based on RRAM device, and out of that I have figured out a recent publication based on graphene oxide RRAM. So for neuromorphic applications, the device should show bipolar switching, and here you could see the bipolar switching between the current and the voltage, and it is having the high endurance up to the cycles of 400. And in order to mimic the device to neuromorphic computing, they have performed LTD, that is long-term potentiation and long-term depression, by increasing the conductance with respect to the pulse number and decreasing the conductance with respect to the pulse number correspondingly. And lastly, the STDP, and they could be able to see the change of synaptic weight or conductance with the two different time sets. And finally, I am coming to the conclusion. So here we could conclude that neuromorphic computing is a selective candidate for the next generation universal memory due to its vast storage capacity and the less power consumption, along with the selective data process in accordance with in-human memory functionality. And hence I am wrapping up my talk, and thank you for your attention.